What have you seen as being the biggest developments in cybersecurity over the last 12 months?
The biggest issue for me is to do with the increasing level of interconnectedness of systems. So the rapid growth in what is generally known as the Internet of Things, and the fact that there are so many new devices that are connected and people are unaware of all the security issues that are associated with those problems. We're becoming more and more dependent on them. We're opening ourselves up more and more to invasion of our privacy, a lack of security, and being vulnerable to what happens when these systems fail on a massive scale.
And I mean, there's lots of Internet of Things developments happening now, and so in the next 12 months, what are the real challenges facing the industry to kind of make people confident about the Internet of Things?
Quite frankly, I'm not sure that much of the manufacturing industry cares about making people confident. One of the things that my presentation discusses is the fact that manufacturers are just not putting security into their devices and seem to have this approach of, no, if we can get data out of it that we can monetize, we will. Thank you very much.
And I mean, there's two aspects, I guess. There's the smart home, the connected home, those sort of things on a consumer level, and then there's the industrial control system side of it. I mean, how different are they?
Well, the trouble is they're becoming increasingly interconnected. So as the new UK smart metering network is rolled out, that's going to be talking to the meters in your houses, but also because of the initiative that was announced last week about trying to manage energy supplies, that network is also going to be trying to talk to things like your washing machine, your fridge, your freezer. So more and more of the equipment in your house, that network's going to want to talk to, and that's going to be all pervasive. There's going to be something like 53 million smart meters in the UK connected up to the system. It's going to be in just about every house and small business, and it's going to want to talk to your devices.
And do you think, I mean, for criminals, it's a target for them yet, or do they not sort of see it as an opportunity?
Oh, it will be a target for them, there's no question. Organised crime will do their best to find a way to make money out of the IoT and smart metering. They've already done it in Puerto Rico. They took almost £200 million off of the Puerto Rico energy distribution company. They've been attempting to do it in Malta. There are other places where smart meter fraud has happened. The trouble with new technology is that old crimes simply get updated to happen in new ways.
And I mean, what's the solution? What's the industry going to do to kind of avoid these major problems?
Well, a lot of work has been done. In fact, I was responsible for looking at the security and the crypto for the UK smart metering network before I joined PA. And we put a huge amount of effort into developing PKI standards, and also some work into trying to make the meters themselves resistant to basic attacks. The trouble is, when you think about 53 million meters, if you start putting a lot of security in, that adds enormously to the cost. So you put up the cost of the whole project, there's pushback from both the manufacturers and the meter operators. So there's always a compromise between what you can actually achieve and what you think you really ought to be able to do.
I guess finally, I mean, in terms of standards, is there anything happening in that to try and help manufacturers do the right thing?
The problem is there's too much happening in standards. That's another thing my presentation discusses, is the fact that there are something like 12 different standard bodies at the moment trying to come up with solutions. Some of them really just aimed at functionality, some looking a bit at security. We've also got about 6 different protocols and frequencies in use for the Internet of Things and connected homes. So it's a bit like the old VHS Betamax standard wars. There's still a lot going on, and nobody really is thinking about security properly, and nobody's implementing security properly.
So it's a very pessimistic view. Do you have that feeling, or are you optimistic that things will be sorted and it'll all be okay?
At the moment, I'm quite pessimistic. Things are wide open to attack. It wouldn't be terribly difficult to do a lot of problems. And I also discussed the issue of the potential for cascade failure throughout the whole system. I think it's going to be at least 5 years before we see anything approaching unity in this space. And then that's probably just unity in terms of the kind of standards and protocols used. In terms of security, at the moment, I'm not optimistic, I'm afraid.